The region of Glashütte in the German state of Saxony has been an important centre for German watchmaking for over 175 years. The region is home to many iconic German watch brands, many of which originally based themselves there for the close proximity to the mineral wealth of the region. Germanic tribes from the region of Saxony in northern Germany migrated to what is now England and heavily influenced what became the language of English that we speak today. Perhaps another interesting tidbit is the dominance of early watchmaking that Britain enjoyed in the 19th century. So the Anglo-Saxons have ancestors that influenced two major regions of watchmaking. Tutima is a brand established in the early 20th century, whose name is derived from the Latin word for safe and secure, and the first time you hold a Tutima watch, you'll feel the reliability and solidity it offers. The watches are robust without being overbearing, and the attention to detail and variety of the full collection has something for everyone, especially if you're into functionality. We have chosen the Saxon 1 for our first Tutima video. It's an original case design with an historic name. It's also our first grey dial on the channel. Let's get started. When you first see the Saxon 1 in person, it's the many striking angles that stand out. Tutima themselves state that there have been many times in history where they've had to break with tradition in order to reinvent themselves, and that the unique approach to the case of the Saxon 1 is inspired by these events. This square, rounded off look is sometimes referred to as a cushion case, but it's not a typical design. There is a brushed square section that surrounds the bezel and its faceted four corners. Each of the four sections between these corners is curved to bring everything together perfectly to catch the light throughout your day. The two curved sections that meet the lugs help soften the lug design, and the left-right section follows a large curve along the case sides. Surrounding the dial we have a coinage bezel that is partially protected by the upturned faceted corners. This is a friction bezel which turns smoothly in either direction. It's smooth but firm, and since it's slightly recessed and protected, the simple red reference marker will stay fixed in the position you choose. We have a mix of brushed and polished surfaces on the bezel and case side. These complement each other well, with most high-touch areas being brushed to minimise fingerprints and smudges. The screw-in crown is signed with a Tutima cursive T, and its generous grooves make it easy to grip. For us, the two most defining features of the Saxon 1 case are how well all the elements work together, and how incredibly comfortable it is on the wrist, despite its visual largesse. At 42mm, it's not a small watch, but thanks to its compact lug design, it will fit even medium-sized wrists. The fact that the watch is only 13mm thick certainly helps to make it feel like it simply moulds onto your wrist. Technically, this is a square watch, but it doesn't look nor feel like one. That typical slab look and feel that you get from square watches is completely absent, which reinforces Tutima's considered approach to the classic cushion case. Before we move on to its interesting strap and lugs, let's take a closer look at the dial. The soft muted grey dial is discreet and perfectly matched by the grey leather strap. At just under the 12 o'clock position we find the printed logo, and around the 6th position we find the words Automatic, 20 ATM and Made in Germany. The slender alpha hands with a slightly longer minute hand are easy to read in all lighting conditions, with a small but well applied loom section. The red seconds hand is a perfect choice to tie in with the red bezel marker, and to add a little bit of colour contrast to this restrained grey dial. We can see polished applied indices at every 5-minute section with a small loom section on the outer edge. The loom sections of the hands and indices are fairly slim, but you will still be easily able to make out the time hours into the night. Finally, a word on the day-date complication. What we love here is again the attention to detail. The white print on a grey background makes this complication integrate perfectly with the grey dial. Now let's talk lugs and strap. Upon closer inspection, we get an impression of an integrated strap, and that is to some extent true. You cannot fix any strap to this watch, but much like standard straps, it is held firmly in place by spring bars. When you look over the Tutima range, you will find many of these H-Link options in both leather and steel. So if you're someone that likes to swap and change your straps and bracelets, do let us know at the time of purchase so we can make sure that you have a few options at hand. We have a signed deploy and clasp mounted, which is well designed and simple to use. There are no extra buttons to push or force open to give yourself a bit of extra length. The mechanism gives you full access when unbuckled. Proudly on display is the Tutima 330 movement, with its 25 joules and 38-hour power reserve. Perhaps the most eye-catching part of this movement is the lovely Tutima gold seal on the customised rotor. Tutima is often brought up as a brand that few have heard of but everybody should be aware of. We believe that Tutima deserves a much wider audience outside of Europe. The Saxon 1 is a good example of the many strengths that the brand brings to the watch industry. For us watch enthusiasts, the ultimate dream is unique and innovative timepieces at attainable prices, and that's exactly what we have here. With a model name anchored in history, Tutima lives up to its namesake of reliability and delivers good design and a quality finish in the mix as well. What about you? What do you think about Tutima and the Saxon 1 that we've covered today? Please do let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Until next week.
Time only. The authorized Tutima dealer.